Alright, so it's been a minute and I just wanted to talk to you guys for once in a little bit because you guys seem to enjoy my videos where I either ranting or just talking flat out. I guess that's just what y'all enjoy. So I wanted to give y'all this one as my little I'm back situation because it's been a minute since I recorded. So pretty much if you've not been in the dark and you've been in the light, you know that Trepidation and Daybreak seem to be having, the community of Daybreak seems to be acknowledging the fact that Trepidation has randomly gained a whole bunch of players and Daybreak has lost a lot of players. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video because a lot of people seem to be confused. So I wanted to enlighten them more on why this could be with all these situations. So I do want to go ahead and explain this right here and right now, that I am not doing this to bash either of the games. I'm just doing this to enlighten people who are confused or just don't understand or just need proof and evidence as to why this situation could be happening. So with me saying all that and with all that being done, let's go ahead and get into it. The first topic. So the first topic is going to be why Daybreak is losing a lot more of its players, or losing a lot of its players, and what some people are saying most players just going to Trepidation. So I will be providing you with my 5 reasonings. I did my best to try and put them in an order in which I felt like would be most to least, but I just kind of gave up. I'm gonna just tell you this: we got 5, and this is what this first area is going to be about, is why Daybreak is losing all its players. So let's get into reason number 1. So reason number 1 for me personally, I think, is the struggling to actually keep players. Yes, I put this at number 1 because I really don't feel like this is that big of a reason as to why Daybreak isn't having a whole lot of its players. But again, I mentioned this before and I've said it a lot, that Daybreak just doesn't have a way for it to kind of keep its newer players, especially when you're getting outclassed by people who've been playing this game since like Daybreak 1. There's people who are like level fucking 6k in this game. So I mean, yeah, it can struggle to keep its players. Also, I guess to them, sometimes it just doesn't appeal enough to them, so they just leave. So that's already gonna happen a lot with asymmetrical horror games anyways, so boo boo baha. But Brenda did say, personally my opinion was just make an interactive tutorial or make just a better tutorial. But Brenda had said apparently that there was a study. I don't have the picture of her saying this, but maybe if I do, I'll put it up. But Brenda said that apparently there was a study that was saying people are less likely to play your game if they are forced into a tutorial. If that is true, like dead ass, that's fucking stupid. That's dumb as fuck. If that's like actually real. I don't have the proof on it, and I'm not gonna actively go search for it, but apparently it was a study. So if it is a study and I can get some evidence as the study being true, then I'll believe it because it's a fucking study. Why wouldn't I? Be dumb. But in other hands, it just sounds slow to me that people wouldn't stay because they were forced into a tutorial. Like, I genuinely could not think of that. Like, do you think you the shit? Like, what? You just like, no, I don't need the tutorial. This shit is dumb. They think I'm stupid. Yes, you are. If you're leaving a game because you're forced into the tutorial. But you know what? I'm getting sidetracked. You know what? But let's get into the second reason. Okay, so the second reason is the game is getting boring. Yes, hate to say it, sad sight to see, it is what it is. But all games get boring, I guess, at one point. But I personally am going through this same one. The second reason does apply to me. The game definitely is getting boring. I do remember No Words was mentioning how he believes that everybody who's saying it's boring is just experiencing burnout. Personally, my boredom is coming from the fact that updates just don't happen enough. And, we don't get enough insight on, like, things that are potentially to come to keep the hype up. I mean, we do know the things that are potentially to come. We've known for, like, 6 months, and we have yet to achieve that content. And then they work on side secondary content, which, I mean, hey, at least they're working on content, but then they're working on the side content that we didn't know nothing about. And most people are waiting on Star Eater. Like, it's been, what, like 6 months? since then. So Lord, it's been a minute. So personally, when it comes to like the boredom aspect, that's where I'm coming from, is just the fact that updates don't happen enough. Yeah, I mean, okay, doing the same thing here and there all the time wouldn't be that boring if the updates would happen at a decent amount of time. You know, like the balancing too, that's another thing. You know, when you go against killers that have been broken for ages now, that does also get really annoying because these killers haven't received changes, or the developers think that they're good, and the developers say this stuff. And I mean, Brenda said that she plays as her game. I don't know if the other developers play their game, but I don't really feel like they play their game enough. And going against your friends in like little private lobbies and not like in genuine servers against other people, I just genuinely feel like it's not good enough. I feel like Brenda should just have someone go in like have someone that's in there in the game going through and taking parts of this, because the balancing is something else that gets really annoying. Because when you have a killer that can legit do it all, idle, it gets really annoying going against those same killers, or, you know, people realizing how broken some of them are, or just some killers being so broken that there's probably like no counterplay. But that's not really happening anymore, as they're really trying to cut down on that with the killers. Hopefully Idol can get some treatment too, because yeah, no, really annoying to go against. And on second notes, again, like I was saying, balance changes also don't be coming until the next big update, which is another problem. Why do we have to wait till the next big update to just get these changes? Like, I personally, I don't feel like you should be doing that. Like, depending on how, like, if the update is like right around the corner, then I understand. But in most cases, we'll wait at least a month or two for all these changes to flow in, waiting, because they're all gonna come in with the big update, which I'm just like, why, whatever. But it is what it is. Personally, the game getting boring is definitely one of the reasons. So let's go ahead and hit on our next reason. So yes, our third reasoning is going to be content creators. So content creators of Daybreak, or what we say the Daybreak content creators, a lot of them have been making videos on Trepidation. This is true. We've seen it. No Words made a video as saying you should play Trepidation, gave good reasons why, and then showed fun clips of how fun the game can be, or how cool and interesting the game can be. And that gained a decent amount of attraction. Then we have people who were previously a part of the Daybreak content creators, V, who made a video on Trepidation a while back, like 2 months ago, to gain the attention. It helped me find out about the game. And then Zamatron also plays the game too at that. And then we have Prekeeper, who is one of the other Daybreak content creators, who also made a video on it. And then now you have Ancient, who's made a couple of streams on the game at that. So when you add all of these content creators that are part of the Daybreak community, and then you see this, and then their community sees the games, of course some of them are going to want to play it, because now Trepidation is getting its shined light. Most people didn't know about the game. So most people who watched V typically did watch her for Daybreak. So when she quit, or I mean they, I don't know the pronouns, when they quit Daybreak, you know, you could see the views go down. But I still watch them here and there, primarily because I saw that, you know, that Trepidation shit. So yeah, and then when you have No Words, another big Daybreak content creator who made this video, of course, and a lot of his community likes him. Then now you have Ancient, the biggest Daybreak content creator, who's playing the game. So a lot of people like Ancient, so they're gonna play a game that is like that. And then when you add the other two things that I had mentioned, or maybe not the other one, but mainly the game's getting boring, then you see that half and you're like, yeah, why wouldn't I play it? Because the game looks interesting and it's another asymmetrical horror game that's around the block, and my content creators are playing it, so why wouldn't I want to play the game with them too and try the game out too? Because I've heard nothing but good things about it. This game doesn't seem that bad. So yeah, Trepidation is really just getting a lot more light than Daybreak is currently right now, so that's why a lot of people have gone over there to Trepidation to try it out too. So that, I mean, I'm not blaming it on content creators, but I'm just acknowledging the fact that content creators have done work to help this game get up, and so that's happening. On top of that, the developers themselves said that they want the game to do good too, and they liked when their game was smaller. But I do want to speak on this. So Liana, you did at one point mention that you don't understand why people put content creators at such a high pedestal. Well, I'm here to tell you this. Even though you're probably not going to see this, anyone else who's listening will understand that we are your voice. Well, we are typically the community's voice. We are who's speaking with them. We are the ones speaking their opinions. We're the ones, doing all this stuff extra as a average player. We're just doing and putting forth the effort to do extra stuff for them, and they like that. They enjoy our company. They like the stuff that we're doing for them. So yes, they're going to put us on a high pedestal because they like us. If you like somebody and you enjoy their character, why wouldn't you look at them in some way, whether you're looking up to them in some form of way? Why wouldn't you do that? So yes, Liana, they're going to look at us like that because that is truth. Like, let's speak on the Void Skulk topic. Nobody was talking about how bad Void Skulk needed her buffs, because the people were thinking it, as we could clearly see. People were thinking it, but nobody wanted to speak on it. So after I spoke on it, then that's when word of the Void Skulk Mafia started to come up, and everybody started to rise up and fight for her buffs that we finally got, that barely even really did anything for her anyways. So I don't see why people were complaining. People were just looking for something to complain for. But this is not about her. That's a whole nother topic for another day that I could talk about if I wanted to, but it is what it is. But back on this. So yes, Liana, they will put us on higher pedestals because we help them and advocate for them and do things for them that they may be scared to do. We help them. We are actively communicating with them. We do things for them. So yes, they will put us on a high pedestal because they enjoy us and with the things that we are doing for them. So yes, that is why they are putting us on a, in quote, you or whatever you said, high pedestal. Hopefully I can find a picture for it if I didn't put it up already. Anyways, let's go ahead and get on to the next reasoning. So the next reasoning, this was not going to be that long, but it's the Brenda documents. If you don't know about it, apparently there were documents on Brenda that exposed some things that she did or some stuff like that. I didn't look into the documents. I've only heard of the little bit of things that were in the document, but I didn't care enough to actually go look in the damn documents. It is what it is. All I gotta say, typically don't put the work with the artist. Don't put your art with the artist. That's typically what you don't want to do. But I don't know how much of it's true. I really don't care. I didn't look into it. It's whatever. It is what it is. People already had fixed their opinions. If you really want to know about it, go find the document yourself if it's even still up or whatever, because that's not what I'm here for. Like I said, I didn't even read it myself, so I don't even know. So I have no really room to talk on it. But I mean, we did see a lot of people like, yeah, no, I don't want to be associated with this group and area of people when they've done this. So we saw it with a couple of the content creators too. They just like, what, ew, no. That was their last final straw to just finally push away and just leave. But this one's gonna be short anyways because I don't really know much on this one, and I'm not going in depth onto it. I'm not here to be fucking Drama Alert Nation or something. Anyways, let's get into our last and final topic, our reasoning, I mean. So yes, the last and final reasoning is the damn Ancient ban. Yes, Ancient was banned, guys. If you don't know, if you weren't in the light, Ancient was banned. Okay, let's not try and hide the fact that you're like the mysterious man was banned. Just because a certain content creator was banned, just say his name. Let me hear you say that. Ancient one. Anyways, like, we know who was banned. Stop trying to be sneaky and shit. So yes, Ancient was banned. And if you didn't hear what I said before, the Ancient one, whether you like him or not, is the biggest Daybreak content creator. So a lot of his fan base or his community who's a part of Daybreak will leave with him. And let me speak on that. Let's talk about it. So if you don't know, Soliana banned the Ancient One. As far as we're aware, this personally was just a Soliana ban. Nobody else really knew about this, or this was not discussed. So this means that the ban too, if you were watching Ancient stream, and I'm pretty sure someone could provide pictures for you if you go ask them, this ban was primarily an emotional ban. That is exactly what this was. It was an emotional ban. So sadly, when you do emotional bans, that makes your management look really bad. So if you are banning somebody for an unjust reason, and that somebody has a lot of people who like him, of course they're going to follow in the footsteps and leave your game if they already didn't like it. And if you add all the reasonings that I said before that, that could have just been the last straw for some people. Or again, like I said, now what you did is, now that Ancient is banned, he's not going to get on his knees and beg. He'll just go find the next game or the next thing that he can move on to. And Trepidation just so happened to be that next thing. Again, it is not his fault that he was banned. If you want to blame anybody for the ban, you need to blame the ban or Soliana herself. Because at the end of the day, Ancient did not ban himself. And no, I'm not glazing. No, this is not me meat writing. This is me acknowledging you and enlightening you on the topic. He was banned for an emotional ban. That makes your management look bad. Having bad management does not make people like you. People not liking you would change their opinions on things that you do or have created and made, all that type shit. So yes, him being banned, he's not going to get on his knees and beg, so he's going to move on to the next thing. Trepidation was right there. All his fans were like, Trepidation looks hot too right now, because every other content creator was making content on the game too. So that just get it acid boosted on, bro, can I fucking speak? Damn, bitch. Anyways, added extra on reasonings as to why we should just go play Trepidation, guys. The game clearly doesn't like the person we like. The game is obviously getting boring right now or something. And the management kind of is ass cheeks. So yes, we're gonna move and whatever. It's not a boycott or none of that shit. They're just moving because they don't like the way shit is turning out. So they're going to a game that is basically, not saying Daybreak doesn't have love in it, but it's getting filled with way more love than Daybreak is currently as of right now. Then the community just isn't the shit either. So, you know, when everybody, so don't be surprised that Ancient moved on and his community left with him. That's just how the shit moves. That's just how shit rolls. It's like that in real life. Somebody leaves, so there's going to be some followers. Oh, so surprised. We're in shock. No, again, the developers already said themselves they don't care. They liked it when their game was smaller, so that's what they're getting. They want their game being, they're okay with their game being smaller, they're okay with their game being smaller. Again, do not blame Ancient for this reasoning, because at the end of the day, this is not his fault. It is the ban itself's fault that their game has now lost some of its players and most people moved on to Trepidation. And now when you add this on, now that Trepidation is getting even more traction, people who didn't even see the previous videos now are seeing it because their biggest content creator is no longer making videos on Daybreak and is now making videos on Trepidation or any other game that may pop up. And then again, like I said, the other content creators also making games on them, because the other previous Daybreak content creators still have some people who are lingering still inside the community because they like them for them and not the Daybreak content. So this ban could and probably primarily is a big reason as to why. So again, this does also go to show that content creators do have an influence on smaller games, yes, or even bigger games at that. Having an influence on these smaller games, we're going to see it right now with Trepidation, how Trepidation is getting a lot bigger. But I do feel like there is more reasons as to why Trepidation is bigger other than just the fact of the content creation. But we'll get onto that in a second. Right now, we're still on the fact that this ban was fucking retarded. So you cannot get mad at the Ancient One because he was banned for an unjust emotional reason that he had no control over. Well, if he could ban himself, I don't think he would have did it yet. Okay? All right. So I think that we've gotten all that out the way. Let's go ahead and move on to our new topic. And let's get it. So the next topic now, we are on the topic of Trepidation and why Trepidation has a lot more players. So we will be focusing obviously on this area now. We are moved on from Daybreak. This is not going to necessarily be about Daybreak, and no similarities, or I don't think I should be bringing it back up beyond this point really. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the reasons as to why Trepidation has gained a lot of players. So one, this is the one that I want to get out the way right now, because I do want to actually praise this developer for the hard work that they've been doing. I think you pronounce it Uzu or Uzi, whatever. They are really active with inside the community and inside their own game. You will have times where you will see the developer himself, I believe it's him, playing his own game. I remember in one of my streams, I joined the game and I was just in the game with him. I didn't know it was the developer until later on afterwards, but yeah, I was in there with the developer. So I mean, that also goes to show that the balancing will be a lot better for the game, because the developer also can see firsthand what the game truly does need. Speaking of, so a lot of you guys maybe don't know, but back then, the economy system, it was really hard to actually get coins, perks, crates, all that stuff. Coins weren't really the easiest thing to get. So people talked to the developer about that. The developer kind of like saw it himself and was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a full-fledged economy change. What did the developer do? Literally not too long after I even found out about this information, developer made an entire economy change, made it better. Now getting perks isn't as hard as it was before, or wasn't as time consuming, I should say, to get it, because the developer knew what they needed. Killers typically won't be so overpowered and busted. Perks typically won't be so overpowered and busted, because the developer not only is incredibly active in taking as much suggestions as he can, he plays his game himself, which I do kind of hate to say it, but playing your game, I don't even hate to say it, I want to say it. Playing your game is what keeps your game healthy, because you as a developer also firsthand know what the game really needs, and your word matters the most out of anybody else's word, because you are the one who says yes or no to anything. So you can completely shut down an entire situation or topic by simply saying no, because you are the developer. So we're seeing a developer who actually genuinely, I'm not saying that Daybreak doesn't love it, but this isn't about Daybreak, this is about Trepidation, so I do not want to see the fucking comparison here. We're seeing a developer who's showing a lot of love to their game. A lot of it. And that's what will keep and give you a healthy game. Let's just keep it straight, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and get on to our next reasoning. So the next reasoning, yes, of course, is going to be the fact that the game is just something new. Again, if you remember, like I was saying, a lot of people had already left Daybreak as a whole after the, whole incident. And then also some people, or a lot more people, are getting bored of the game. So they were in search of something new. And Trepidation just so happened to be right around the corner for them, as in something new that they could come and play and try out. So, and then when you were getting all the videos about him, and on top of that, a guide recently from No Words, shout out to No Words for that guide, by the way, getting all these attentions again, and getting again positive information and reviews and stuff like that, it's just only going to entice people more and more to go play the game. Because why wouldn't I play a game that's getting all this love, and on top of that, looks cool, and actually it's pretty scary, which a lot of people, that's what we enjoy about it, by the way, is the scariness. Hold up, let me go ahead and get some water real quick. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. Don't give a fuck. It's something new, so a lot of people, that's just what they're focused on, and that's what they wanted, and that's what they were giving. I don't really have much to speak on this, because there's not much to really say. If it's new and people are looking for something new, of course it's gonna get bigger. Anyways, let's get into the next reasoning. Anyways, the next reasoning is the variety. It does have a lot more variety when it comes to what you want to do. Like, if you want to be a stealthy chase person, do that. If you want to be a support person, do that. If you want to be gen support, other like literally do it all. You can build your builds however you want. And I feel like when it comes to survivors, it's less you know, serious when you think about the killers, because that's where a lot more of your build variety, when you really think about it, is going to come into hand. I mean, yeah, survivors can basically do the same, but a lot of people focus a lot more on the killer aspect than the survivor aspect. So when you look at the killer aspect, you can really build your killer however you want. You want to be hit and run, be hit and run. You want to be gen orientated, be gen orientated. You want to be super good, you want to be incredibly chase, you want to be chase orientated, do that. If you want to make a killer that's not supposed to be chasing orientated, make them chasing orientated, do that. You get the job, you get the option to do all that stuff, and play the game however you want to, whether it's wacky or goofy or dumb, or it's smart, strategic, and fun. You can do all that. And, you know, having that variety at the palm of your hands makes people enjoy it a lot more. Granted, yes, you have to work for that variety first if you're newer, but who cares? You'll get it at some point, and getting 2K, which is what most of the perks cost in the game, actually all the perks in this game cost, including killers, getting 2K isn't necessarily that hard, really. And on top of that, I mean, if you're like me, you could just spend money and get rich. Like, yeah. Anyways, don't go bankrupt. Anyways, let's get into the next reasoning. It's not last reasoning. Let me stop. Next reasoning is, apparently it's like DBD, Dead by Daylight. Apparently, there's not much that I'm gonna say on this, but I've heard it a lot, so I just needed 5 reasons. So, you know, I just kind of threw this reason in here. A lot of people are saying that apparently it's like Dead by Daylight. A lot of people like Dead by Daylight, so now you have Dead by Daylight on Roblox. So, yeah, woohoo, whoopee. That's really all the fuck I gotta say about this one. Yeah. The last and final reasoning for why Trepidation probably has a lot of players, it is different from what you typically have. This is the asymmetrical horror game where you are fighting the killer at that, and on top of that has a crafting system, which I don't know any, I'm not that big in the asymmetrical horror game like genre, so I don't know how many games genuinely are like that where you can craft your items and fight against the killer, because I know there are some asymmetricals where you fight against the killer, but I don't know about any that have like an entire like crafting system, different weapons, all that type stuff. I'm not like that traversed in the world of the asymmetrical. So it is a lot different from a lot of the games that we have in general, whether it's on Roblox or even off Roblox. It's really different. So I will say that it is extremely enjoyable to have, you know, a new aspect out there. And the killers work a little bit differently, survivors work differently. You have, like, the most, in my opinion, the most alike that this game is when it comes to Dead by Daylight is the vaulting and the perks, really. Everything else I feel like is, like, fair game, to be honest. I don't really think it's that much alike, honestly. I love the whole crafting system. I love the variety of perks that they have. Same thing with killers. And other than that, I mean, what more can we say? The game is just something really new. Like, I know it's basically, I said it was something new. It's basically Reasoning 2, but more on this is just that it's different from what we have, and it's getting a lot more love. And on top of that, we have a killer coming out not too long here soon. Like, what, should be coming out like Friday, Thursday, I don't know, Saturdays, one of those days, I don't know, I don't fucking know. I'll put it up on the screen or something, but it is what it is. We have one coming out too. So let's just go ahead and get into the conclusion and just kind of end this all off here. Okay, we've been through our topics and they have their reasoning, so let's just go ahead and just simplify this all out. Why exactly has Daybreak lost players and Trepidation gained them? Or why has, in other words, why has the Daybreak player base moved over to Trepidation? 1, Daybreak is getting pretty boring. 2, a lot more content creators are focusing more on Trepidation as of right now than Daybreak. I mean, yes, they're still posting Daybreak videos, but the focus right now isn't on Daybreak. And 3, a big half of the community left for, in my opinion, a more fair reason. So yeah, and most I can say is that right now the game is just slow. Daybreak is just moving kind of slow. They're okay with their game being small. So I'm not going to say anything, because if they're okay with their game being small, then that's what they're okay with. Anyways, ending this all off. Love you guys. Hopefully have a video coming out soon. Yeah. And break started for me, so should be posting a lot more, streaming a lot more, doing all that stuff. But yeah, hopefully I can reach 1K over the summer. Possible, maybe, who knows. Anyways, I also need to get my Trepidation video out too. So catch you guys later. Bye. Also, before you leave, or before I end this necessarily, just again real quick, I do want to specify that I am saying this as in just enlightening people on the situation. So if you think me saying what other people said, maybe word for word or quoting whatever, is being rude or something, then you take that as you wish. But I'm just stating what they are stating and giving them the same energy that they are wanting back. That's all I'm doing. I'm just enlightening you guys on the topic, because I've seen a lot of people talking about it. And plus, it seems like Daybreak seems to be doing all right anyways. I mean, currently as of right now, as me talking about this, they have like 600 players or something. So yeah, whatever. I just wanted to get that out real quick before ending this. Anyways, hoot and holler, blah, 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 la, 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 bye.